What's going on, everyone? My name is Rodney, and if you already knew that, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. And today, we got a good one. My annual ranking of all the quarterbacks in the National Football League. This is bound to upset a few fans. Obviously, I'm a Raider channel, but this is for all football fans. And if you're new and you're not a Raider fan, stick around because we talk about things that are football related, sometimes that are not just specifically Raider related, although we will get into Derek Carr in this video. A couple of notes here before we start. Jimmy Garoppolo, for whatever reason, isn't on this list of quarterbacks. So we're going to pretend that Joe Flacco is Jimmy Garoppolo. So when I put Joe Flacco into this thing, it's Jimmy G. Okay, number 32. Time to upset, just a whole fan base. This person should not take offense to this, but it's got to be done. Somebody has to be 32. And that's why I'm putting, where is he? Tell me he's not on this list either. Am I blind? I'm not blind. Justin Fields is the 32nd quarterback in the National Football League. Now, is this fair? No. He's a rookie on a team with a not great offense. But someone's got to be 32, and I've decided it's going to be him. I don't want to spend too much on people 32 to 25, but my opinion on Justin Fields is that he's not great. A little careless with the football, doesn't really stay in the pocket and throw. He's got happy feet, okay? So that's where I got him at 32. 31, this is going to really upset people, but it has to be done because it's my opinion, and I got to be honest, it's Trey Lance. Now, I know what people are saying. How can you put a guy who's played one game ahead of a guy who's played multiple games, in fact, most of his season? And the reason being is it's my list. I can do whatever I want. Number 30, Trevor Lawrence. Yes, I would rather have Trevor Lawrence over Justin Fields. I think last year was really tough in Jacksonville for obvious reasons. I think he's going to have a better year, although I don't think he's going to take a massive, massive leap. Maybe that's a year away from this year, so a couple years down the road. Trevor Lawrence is my 30th quarterback. 29, this is bound to ruffle some feathers. Not because he's too low, but I'm sure people thinking I have Zach Wilson too high. Now, I went on a limb last year, and I said I would take Zach Wilson over any quarterback coming out last year, and I stand by that. Was he on a good team? No. They have a new head coach. We'll see what happens. I think he's going to take a big step forward, although not a big enough step, similar to Trevor, to get him into the 20s. I am saying I would take Zach Wilson over Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and Trey Lance, and that's something I got to live with. If I look stupid, I look stupid, but I'm yet to really look that stupid, so we're going to roll with it. 29. That was Zach Wilson. 28. 28, Daniel Dimes. I've seen enough. I've seen enough of Daniel Dimes. There's just nothing that he does that is top 10 in any category. Arm strength, athletic ability. He's kind of fast, I guess. Accuracy. There's just nothing there that gets me out of bed. You know what I'm saying? 27 is someone I believe to have a starting job, I think, in Seattle. Although maybe Baker gets traded there. And that's Drew Lock. Again, I've seen enough. He's got a big arm, and that's it. He doesn't really move the needle as a leader. He doesn't really show much intangible-wise. He doesn't really wow you with anything else. He just kind of slings it, and he runs around, and he's got a real Brock Osweiler vibe to him. And I don't think we like Brock, do we? So why do we like Drew Lock? Oh. 26. Tua Tagovailoa. Oh, I just realized. Wait, stop. Tua Tagovailoa comes in at 26. I have not seen enough of Tua. I think there's something there. And it's now or never, buddy, because you got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike Gesicki, Cedric Wilson, Mike McDaniel, who was, what's his name's mentor? Kyle Shanahan. That's correct. This is the year. If you're going to make a step, take a step, a leap, something, anything. It's going to be this year, Tua. He's got an arm. People forget his arm strength is kind of like a thing that he used to have. He just lacks the ability to impact the game in a positive way to get him higher than 26. And I feel similarly about him as I do with Jalen Hurts, who was my 25th lowest quarterback. I don't know how you want to rank that. Jalen Hurts is fine. again, really young, going into his third year, made the playoffs. He can make some plays athletically. This is where we start to get into some people who I could see taking a leap or falling off. Tua and Jalen specifically are two quarterbacks I could see really solidifying themselves as perennial starters or perennial backups. And this is a very important year for both of those people. Jalen Hurts is my 25th quarterback, and he needs to go here. I'm already screwing this up. 24 is somebody on this thing here? No. This person's not here. So we're going to have to pretend that Cam Newton is Marcus Mariota. Cam Newton is Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota is my 24th highest quarterback. I love Marcus. He was a backup for us, obviously. He did some good things for us. Again, freak athlete. Can run all over the field. Arm strength, not great. Hell of a leader. He's a good guy, and I'll admit it's a little biased to maybe put him this high, but I hope he does great things. And I'll tell you this much: he's probably going to be my backup quarterback in fantasy football. So that's something. 23 is somebody who I do like, but he doesn't quite do anything spectacular, but had a pretty good rookie year and won a lot of games, and that's McCorkle Jones coming in at 23. He is an accurate passer and is probably only going to get better. We've seen the floor of Mac Jones. Maybe we've seen the ceiling as well. But hey, if you could just compete and win some games and complete the passes you need to complete and get into a Pro Bowl over Derek Carr, we're not going to talk about that, though. Got him at 23. Now, this is a hot take. This is a hot take incoming. The best rookie quarterback of last year was Davis Mills. And that's why he's at 21. Davis Mills was not bad. In fact, detour time, 66% completion percentage, 2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 picks. In how many games? Let's go to the games. In 13 games. Yeah, he didn't win a lot of games. He's on Houston. What's he supposed to do? He had some games where you thought, okay, Davis, show me something. He's not terrible, and he definitely played the best of any quarterback that was drafted in 2021. There were a couple of games where Davis Mills really, really played well. For example, against New England, a great defense, 312 yards and 3 touchdowns. Another game against Seattle, 333 and 1 touchdown. 254, these are pretty good games here from Davis. How about this one? Last game of the year, Tennessee. 303 touchdowns. He's not bad, and he could only get better. Well, I guess he could technically get worse. Didn't want to spend this much time talking about Davis Mills, but here we are. 21 is a guy who was looking to have a Marcus Mariota type, a Ryan Tannehill type resurgence. And that would be none other than Mitchell Trubisky coming in at 21. Athlete, sneaky, wins a lot of games. Came in the preseason against the Bears last year and just wiped them out of the freaking stadium. Really funny to watch. Mitchell's a weird cat because, again, he wins a lot and his stats aren't terrible, but people who played with him will tell you he can't really throw the football. So, and that's important when you're a quarterback in the National Football League. We'll see what happens this year with the Steelers. I don't intend on them making the playoffs, which would be not great for the city of Pittsburgh. Will they have a winning season? Great question. I'm not going to answer that because I don't have to. Number 20 is a guy that I really thought was going to have a good season last year, and he started out playing really well and then got hurt, and the wheels fell off. Jameis Winston. Jameis is going to start this year for the Saints and Dennis Allen. Shout out Dennis Allen, former head coach of the Oakland Raiders. And this is a make-or-break year for him. If he stays healthy and has a good year, he's probably going to be the quarterback for the foreseeable future for the Saints. If he stays healthy and has a bad year, he's gone. If he can't stay healthy, he's gone. I'm rooting for Jameis. I like him a lot. Eating W's. Classic. Jameis Winston. Number 20. I think it's a good spot for him. Number 19 is somebody who, plays hard. Was in Detroit. Dan Campbell. Him and Dan Campbell embraced after they won that game against Minnesota. Top 5 moment of 2021-2022 season. Jared Goff, how the mighty have fallen from a Super Bowl to watching the Super Bowl and watching his old team win the Super Bowl. He's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. He can win you a lot of games. He can lose you a lot of games. Not great arm, but do you remember that time he said something about Halle Berry? He said, hey, hit me up or something? That was kind of funny. So I got Jared Goff at 19. 18, Goff's draft partner, Carson Wentz, Pennsylvania. Started out pretty good in Indy. Wheels fell off. Lost to Jacksonville. No playoffs for Carson Wentz, and we'll see you later. We'll take Matt Ryan instead. At least that's what Jim Irsay said. Wentz is weird because you think he had a bad year last year, but he only threw like 7 interceptions or something crazy like that last year. But he'll have a play every now and again where he'll just throw a grenade out of the end zone for a pick 6, and you're like, Carson, don't do that, please. But he just does it. So that's why he's not any higher than 18. And 17, ironically enough, Matt Ryan, the guy who took his job in Indy. I think he'll have a good year in Indy, although I don't foresee them making the playoffs either. I don't want to spoil my playoff prediction video, which is coming soon. But he is not quite there in terms of offensive ability in years past. In 2016, when he was the MVP, he was just slinging it all over the field. He will have good protection in Indy, but if that protection breaks down, the play is essentially over, which is why I don't have him any higher than 17. Which brings me to Joe Flacco, a.k.a. Jimmy Garoppolo. This is Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't get it twisted. Jimmy Garoppolo is my 16th ranked quarterback. Jimmy. Flashes of brilliance, flashes of absolute nonsense, insanity, stupidity. Yet this guy's played in 2 NFC championships, played in a Super Bowl, which is more than a lot of the quarterbacks can say that are ranked ahead of him. He's an Italian man, Capicola. We've all seen the commercial. Jimmy Garoppolo, a leader of men, a great quarterback of football? No. Okay, we're getting into 15 here. 15 starts out with another polarizing quarterback, somebody who is good at times, bad at others, and mostly annoying. Baker Mayfield is 15. Feeling dangerous? Not so much recently because they're trying to ship you out of Cleveland for somebody who's not going to be on this list because of things that are said about him. We'll leave it at that. Baker Mayfield, 15th best quarterback in the league. He'll be starting for Seattle, Carolina next year. I wish him well. First pick in the draft. Whoops. Let's move on. 14, somebody pretty similar to Baker, although I think the high-end version of Baker. And that would be Ryan Tannehill. Somebody who I had probably in the top 10 last year. I didn't look at my old list, but I probably should. Ryan, I think we've hit the ceiling with Ryan Tannehill. Good quarterback, solid, can win you some games, could potentially get to a Super Bowl, but not going to carry you there. He needs help, which he has in Tennessee. We'll see how A.J. Brown does there. I'm excited to see that. But Ryan at 14, I think it's a pretty good spot for him. 13, probably lower than a lot of people are going to have Kyler. I'll just say this. I'll go on the record and say I don't like Kyler Murray. Not a fan. I'm not a big stats guy when it comes to football for the quarterback position. I just look with my eyes. And my eyes tell me that guy doesn't really care. He's just not a leader. He's a baseball player. He wants to play second base for the Seattle Mariners so badly. He wants to be in the dugout and pout like a baseball player. So in 5 years, hopefully he gets his wish, and he's a baseball player. But this guy, talent out the wazoo, could not care less whether he wins or loses. That's the vibe I get from him. I don't know him personally. I don't know his family. If you're watching Kyler Murray's family, I apologize. That's just the energy I get. Don't like him. Have him at 13. Is there a little bias in that? Probably, but I wouldn't take him as my starting quarterback. Number 12, another polarizing cat, Kirk Cousins. Sneaky had an amazing year last year. Only threw like 5 picks or something crazy. He's got weapons, and he's got some decent arm strength, some good accuracy. He can get to a Super Bowl, and again, not going to spoil my playoff predictions, but I'm feeling the Vikings this year. Last year, I felt the Bengals. We all saw what happened. Don't want to bring that up again. But this year, I'm feeling the Vikings. Kirk Cousins, I got you at 12, which brings me to 11. Just outside of the top 10. Cowboys, where you at? Because I got Dakota Prescott, number 11. Love Dak, leader of men. That's important when you're a quarterback, is to lead. That's a very, very important thing. Now, his numbers are great. The team around him is also great. And they can't get over the hump ever. So we're still waiting on Dak to get over the hump, to win a couple playoff games. The 10th best quarterback in my estimation is a new addition to the AFC West, and that is Russell Wilson. A one-time bona fide MVP candidate, a top 5 quarterback every single year. Last year, not healthy. When he was healthy, looked kind of slow. Looked disinterested, uninterested, however you want to say that. Probably the correct way, uninterested. This is somebody who I believe can easily be a top 5 quarterback again. We'll see how he does in Denver, although right now, tentatively, I have him at 10. Number 9, Justin Herbert. I'm standing right here. Actually, I'm sitting. I put him at 9. Chargers fans, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell me? You're going to tell me about the stats? Or are you going to tell me how about 2 years in a row he's failed to make the playoffs? Or are you going to tell me how 2 years in a row the coaches are blamed? The coach, before, when he was a rookie, get out of here. Brandon Staley, he's going for it on 4th down. He's a crazy coach. Justin Herbert's a great kid. He's a great football player. Probably will be a top 5 quarterback for the rest of his career. And I don't want to hear this. He was a rookie. He broke all the records. He played amazing. It doesn't matter if he was a rookie. When the chips are on the line, he didn't get it done, which is why I have him at 9. And when the chips are on the line, Joe Burrow got to a Super Bowl, which is why I have him at 8. And the only reason I don't have Joe Burrow higher is because it was only his second year in the league. And if he does this again next year, he's probably 3. But Joe Burrow, like I said, when the game is on the line, now is the time to go win the game. I'd rather have Joe Burrow than Justin Herbert. And you know who I'd rather have than both of them? Nope, not one. Derek Carr, who's number 7. Let's talk about it. Derek Carr is obviously the Matthew Stafford of the AFC. The only difference between him and Matthew Stafford is that the organization that has drafted Derek Carr has finally gone all in with the coach and the weapons offensively and defensively. This year is going to show a lot. I'm not going to say could go one way, no. You guys will see. Easy top 10 quarterback. Probably fringe MVP candidate. Derek Carr is the 7th best quarterback in the league. He's better than Burrow and Herbert right now. In a few years, maybe not. But for right now, he is, and he's going to show it this year. And everyone's going to laugh at all the people that said Derek Carr's not a good quarterback. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because I talk about him every single day of my life on this channel. He's my 7th highest quarterback, and I have him over Burrow just because he's done it a little bit longer than Burrow. And I have him over Herbert because he beats Herbert. Next. Just out of the top 5 is Matthew Stafford, the Derek Carr of the NFC, who's won a Super Bowl. I said when he got traded to L.A., he'd probably win a Super Bowl. And that's what happened because he's a great quarterback who was on a really bad team, just like Derek. Don't want to talk about Derek anymore, so I'm talking about Derek. Matthew Stafford had a great year, turned the ball over a little bit too much, but not too much enough to win the Super Bowl, and I have him at 6. My number 5 quarterback is a former MVP, Lamar Jackson. I don't love that he can't throw the ball as his primary function as a quarterback, but he's so electric with his feet that it really doesn't matter. Lamar is a leader. He garners respect in the locker room, somebody that I didn't think was going to be that good, and he's proven me wrong 10 times over. Lamar Jackson is the 5th best quarterback in the league, in my estimation. At number 4, I got Thomas Brady. Probably a little low, to be honest, but I'm just sick and tired of this guy. And when he retired, I was so happy. And when he came back, I was so not happy. We all know how good he is. He's at 4. And 3 is Patrick Mahomes. Yep, 3. Last year, he didn't have a good year. He kind of Golden State Warriored it. He didn't really try. And I don't like that. I didn't like that he was reckless. I'll be honest with you. I don't hate him, even though I'm a Raider fan. I don't hate the Chiefs like they did something bad to me. Like, I hate them because they're so good. It's like Derek Jeter. Like, the only reason we hate Derek Jeter, if you're not a Yankee fan, is because he's so good. Like, Patrick Mahomes seems like a nice guy. He's got a good personality. He's a leader. And he's got amazing arm talent, the likes of which we haven't seen since Aaron Rodgers has come into the league. However, the 2 guys ahead of him, Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen, don't turn the ball over nearly as much as him and are way less careless with the football. Patrick Mahomes also got outplayed in the AFC Championship. Or, no, it wasn't even the AFC Championship. He got outplayed in the AFC Championship by Joe Burrow. He also got outplayed by Josh Allen, but won the game because, of a coin flip. Let's just call a spade a spade. We're going to move on to 2, which is Aaron Rodgers at number 2. There's The only reason he's not won is because he just can't get back to the Super Bowl. Like, he's been to one Super Bowl, and that was in 2010 or 2011, the 10-11 year. Like, this guy, all worldly, maybe the best arm talent to ever play the game, he can't get back to the Super Bowl, which is why him being at number 2 makes sense. And Josh Allen, the best one-man show in football, is my number 1 quarterback. He does everything. He's the best passer on the Bills. He's the best runner on the Bills. He is a leader. His arm is ridiculous. He's eternally clutch. He doesn't turn the ball over. He runs all the time but doesn't put his body in harm's way. There's nothing that this guy can't do. Am I a little biased? Yes, because when he got drafted, I hitched my wagon to him for no particular reason. It's not like I was scouting people in 2017. I just said, you know what? I got Josh Allen out of all these quarterbacks. And right now he's blowing all of them out of the water. The only one that's close is Lamar. Josh Allen's my number 1 quarterback. Here's my list. Comment below. Let me know your list. Am I crazy? People probably think I'm crazy. Bears fans yell at me. Charger fans yell at me. Who else could I have made upset in this? I don't know. Dolphins fans yell at me. Raiders fans yell at me. Did I have Derek too low? No, I didn't. I think 7's a good spot for him. Comment below. Let me know other lists you want to see, other videos that you want me to do that are not Madden related. The new Madden series is coming out very soon. Updated rosters mode. Playoff predictions are coming soon too. And as always, please be sure to subscribe. It is free after all. No charge to you. And just win, baby.